welcome to another in the series of Good Morning San Pedro. Today we are joined in studio by two young ladies of Galen University, and they are required to present a live TV interview as part of their Business Administration Bachelor's Program. Good morning, ladies. I'll ask you to introduce yourselves and your project.
Good morning, San Pedro and Kikaker. My name is Terly Baptist.
Good morning, my name is Florence Grinnell, and today we want to share with you all what we believe poses a great insight into a better future. For most of us, it might not be something that you're familiar with, but we will be discussing a little bit about sustainable development.
All right. Before we begin with the interview, could you please share some information about Galen University?
Galen University offers innovative educational programs at the undergraduate, graduate, and professional level in business, arts and science, and education. They are committed to providing progressive and inspiring courses with a focus on sustainable development and overall excellence in education.
Thank you very much. I gather that the topic to be expanded this morning is sustainable development. Kindly explain what this is all about.
Okay, sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without affecting future goals in the future to be achieved. It is development where living conditions and resources meet human needs. And with this comes human development, where most of us do not realize that people are the real wealth of a nation. And let's say, for example, a country provides a lot of education and empowerment to its residents. They can become influential leaders, and this is where sustainable development can be achieved.
Beautiful.
We must also learn
Go ahead.
to volunteer and help the less fortunate and the more vulnerable, because this is what sustainable development is all about.
That's right. I do see the need for sustainable development as you have put it. Can you please put this into context of our country, Belize, how this fits in?
Well, for example, we could see that there are a lot of human institutions promoting human agency. These are groups that volunteer. They form themselves without getting anything in return. As you might know, some good examples here in the island are the San Pedro Lions group and the AIDS Commission and the Red Cross as well.
Okay, thank you. Sustainable development might seem like a complicated topic, but it's very simple from what you are telling us. And I see that it does need planning. No doubt, sustainable development to occur, we need to plan. Do you know of any kind of plan going on in Belize? I hear about this NSDS. Tell us about that.
Okay, the national development strategies, they first need to be coordinated, of course, participatory and iterative. They consist of actions and thoughts, and these need to be implemented, and afterwards they will need future consultations.
Got it. Now, Ms. Greniel and Terry Lee Baptist, educate us a little bit about more on this sustainable development. What is this thing about Horizon 2030?
Horizon 2030 is the vision, goal, and strategy that arose out of an analysis of the current socio-economic situation of Belize, informed by a broad consultation process and review of existing technical and policies studies.
Okay. What is the vision of Horizon 2030?
The vision of Horizon 2030 is to educate our children, improve their health, and make Belize a better place, where both children and adults value their culture and other education. Another pointer, Belizeans have a collective identity and are patriotic, proud to be Belizean.
Beautiful. So it's all for our future development. How about goals? There must be some goals that are hoped to be achieved. And tell us about the goals.
The goals that are made to be achieved is stating this motto. This is how we want Belize to be. Belize is a country of peace and tranquility, where citizens live in harmony with the natural environment and enjoy a high quality of life. Belizeans are energetic, resourceful, and independent. People looking after their own development in a sustainable way.
In the early 1970s, it was becoming obvious to many people there was a finite limit to the world's natural resources. Clearly, business as usual was no longer an option. In 1972, The Ecologist magazine published an article proposing a new approach to international human development. Traditional development was about delivering economic benefits, but often at the expense of people and the environment. The article suggested a shift in perspective was needed. This new way of looking at the world as a whole became known as sustainable development. But what does sustainable development actually mean? Some feel that the term sustainable development is too loose or lacks real meaning to their day-to-day work. Others argue that sustainable development is often considered only as an add-on at the last stage of the policy process. This may sometimes be true at the moment. But this approach misses enormous opportunities for doing things better. Thinking sustainably will generate innovative new solutions and approaches to the challenges we face. This is not easy. But then few things really worth doing ever are. DEFRA is putting sustainable development into action in many areas. It is leading by example with the refurbishment of the Nobel House office in London. The project, which is managed by building contractors Overbury, is designed to be environmentally efficient and will generate long-term financial savings through reduced running costs. The design of the building is transforming the working environment for DEFRA people, bringing social benefits whilst minimising environmental impacts. The experience of working with DEFRA is helping the building contractors Overbury introduce sustainability into other aspects of their work.
We feel that there's a huge impact on the industry now. This has got to drive standards up, and this is obviously going to have a knock-on effect on the rest of the market. The future industry, this is the way it's going to go.
From estate management to animal health and welfare, sustainable development is being successfully integrated into DEFRA policy across the board. Another DEFRA-sponsored project is SCOPS, a nationwide initiative working with sheep farmers to help control the growing problem of parasites in sheep. Conventional use of chemicals has led to the development of resistant strains of parasitic worms. To deal with the problem more sustainably, SCOPS is working with farmers to help them reduce the amount of chemicals they use. This cost-effective and long-term approach is producing far-reaching benefits. SCOPS means healthy sheep, protecting farmers' livelihoods and rural communities, and looking after the environment and our landscape.
But the main sustainability issue that we're looking at is sustaining the sheep farming business in the UK. Without these products working effectively, we wouldn't be able to farm sheep successfully.
Sustainable development means taking a new perspective and doing things differently. Using the principles of sustainability, the National Forest is being developed on former industrial land in central England. Since 1994, the National Forest Company, sponsored by DEFRA, has more than doubled tree cover within its boundaries, acting as a catalyst for regeneration in this economically deprived region.
I think there's been a tremendous shift in perception over the last 10-15 years. In the past, I think it's been seen that in order to achieve economic regeneration, you had to forfeit the environment and vice versa. And I think what we set out to prove here, and you can witness all around you, is that those two things are totally integrated. And without the one, you can't properly have the other. And with both of them combined, you get that social well-being, and you get a very much happier and healthier population.
Over the years, sustainable development has moved from the periphery towards the heart of government thinking. The government has actually had a sustainable development strategy since 1994. In March 2005, a new strategy was launched focusing on delivery and embracing the bigger picture approach that is needed. It requires us to change the way we think and the way we act, but it is not a passing policy fad. Sustainable development is here to stay, and it is DEFRA's role to champion it across government in the UK and internationally. But what are some of the challenges of putting it into practice? The whole point of sustainable development is that we achieve progress in three areas: a just society, a healthy environment and a productive economy. Although the three elements may appear to be in conflict, they're actually interdependent and connected. If we are to achieve genuine sustainable development, all three areas must be considered at the same time. We can't have one without the other two. The art of sustainable development need not be overcomplicated. If we adopt a longer-term approach and consider the three elements together from the start, we open up the possibilities for simpler solutions. This will make us better policymakers and improve our delivery and operations as we find new, exciting and unexpected solutions to the challenges we face.
One of the benefits is promoting progressive change in policies.
I think it's very important for DEFRA to lead by example.
We need to think about the choices that we make.
Sustainable development will give us a more coherent worldview.
Let's secure our future now.
Our job here is to put sustainable development into practice, and that is what we are doing. And in the process, we've learnt an enormous amount. And I think our main job now is to ensure that other people learn from those lessons too. Now, I think if everybody in all government departments thought in terms of what are these benefits and how can we link them all to what we are doing, then I think you can take it from there and things will flow.
Like any plan, any goal that we want to achieve, we need to set some clear strategies to attain that goal. Speak about the strategies that might be in place already, Terry.
Talking about the strategies in place, so as I read this vision and the goal that Horizon 2030 has planned for a better Belize, I can just imagine a lot of people thinking how far we are from being even close to this. But that's the reason Horizon 2030 is called a goal and a vision, because there are strategies created that we must follow in order to make it a reality. In other words, an ideal strategy. Horizon 2030 is looked at as a cosmetic strategy. At this point, look at the word cosmetic. We would think of not real or fake, right? Because nothing has not been done. to make it happen. It has been worked on. It hasn't been worked on, I'm sorry. It is still on the shelf, sitting somewhere because clearly we can see nothing has been done for it to become an ideal strategy or make it reality. This takes time to happen, I must say. And I, as a Belizean, recommend all other Belizeans to read this document and take notes. Speak your mind, because everything starts from somewhere to be accomplished. If we are just sitting around and leaving it on the shelf, it will then just be a dream.
I see. So there's a lot more that needs to be done, right?
Yes.
A lot more, rather than just theories and packing up those papers on the shelf. Well, in conclusion, because we want something to happen, what do you think, young ladies, that coming to this morning show on the Reef Television is important for the sustainable development to occur in Belize?
Mr. Nunez, I must also mention that there are Millennium Development Goals that we did not mention earlier.
Go ahead.
These are goals for a country to achieve in a specified time frame, and Belize has just issued out a report on the post-2015 agenda. What this means is that there are different goals that were set out to be achieved by the year 2015. Some of these goals are, for example, to combat HIV and AIDS and improve maternal health. Well, what this report says is that there were a lot of progress in terms of primary education, literacy rates, and immunization in children and infants. But what we must take into consideration, especially in the country of Belize, that it poses a big challenge in the areas of poverty and hunger. There are a lot of people out there who are suffering poverty, and they don't have enough resources to satisfy their needs and their wants. This is what we must focus on, because this is exactly what sustainable development is all about. But the report also states that it is expected to implement targeted interventions, and these goals that were not met, they're supposed to be achieved by the year 2017.
So there's a plan B.
Yes.
Plan A and plan B. Very good. Now, I'm very pleased to see Galen University focusing on education on sustainable development. Will you young ladies be playing your own particular roles in this sustainable development project or program?
We believe that we are acting as a human agency right now. We're volunteering. We're promoting sustainable development to everybody who does not have an idea about what it is. And we're encouraging everybody to take part and volunteer and promote sustainable development, because it has great opportunities, especially for our future generation.
Go ahead, Terry.
So as mentioned, please keep in mind that these topics are very important to sustainable development that we spoke of, including the MGD, the NSD, Human Agency and Institution, Horizon 2013. They are all participatory factors to this sustainable development. And as stated, our role in this is to give knowledge of what we have learned. We must share it with the community like what we are doing today. We must promote sustainable development.
Development that is planned with a long-term goal. As I understand it, it applies in every sector of society. For example, agriculture. If you will cut timber, you must replant to make it a long-term successful project. In tourism, I hear about it quite often, that we must do things, for example, develop hotels, but not destroy the mangrove, because that is destroying part of the industry. It's very clear. You've done a beautiful job in presenting this topic. I am sure that there will be more awareness now with your presentation for our viewing and listening public that today get a little bit of input into what sustainable development is. Ladies, I thank you very much for your contributions. You're already playing your role in promoting sustainable development. Thank you very much, and all the best in your studies at Galen University.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.